President Trump is adjusting his stance on the war in Ukraine, sending a message that will surely anger the Kremlin. Trump posted this on Truth Social, saying in part he believes Ukraine can not only win the war, but also win back all of its land taken by Russia and then some.
Now, this was after a meeting with President Zelensky at the UN General Assembly, Ukraine's president calling Trump a game changer and telling reporters Trump is promising security guarantees after the war. But President Trump also making more threats against the invading nation, that the U.S. is prepared to hurt Russia economically if they don't end the war.
The commander...
The United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, but for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures.
The commander-in-chief also suggested NATO take military action in certain situations.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Would you back them up? Would the United States help them out in some way?
Depends on the circumstance, but we're very strong toward NATO. NATO stepped up. When they went from 2% to 5%, that was great unity.
This is after Russia breached NATO airspace in Poland and Estonia in the past week. These remarks showing a complete shift from the president, 180, who has told President Zelensky he, quote, doesn't have the cards to win the war and that Ukraine will have to consider giving up territory for peace. Is this the part where I say told you so, or is this, what part is this?
Told me so.
Yeah,
tell me?
I've been saying this, just go back and watch the tapes. I've been saying that we need to punish Russia economically, that this negotiator is not a negotiator. He's not coming in good faith to Alaska, that he's been mocking President Trump's, now having 3 phone calls, 1 in-person meeting, that he never planned to change his stance at all, and that if we get in coordination with Europe and pressure them economically, that they will bend to make some concessions, because you said that we'll never get any land back, that Ukraine needs to continue to give it up to Russia. There's no chance they win this. We need to bow out without funding. So I just don't understand, like, this 180 is unacceptable. Explain yourself, because this feels very taco. Very Trump's always chickening out. He said that he was going to do one thing, and taco means that he changes his stance. No. This
is part of the negotiation. This is negotiation. Russia is not playing ball.
Okay.
He is not happy with their level of commitment, and so now you get the carrot and the stick. We tried the carrot, it's not working, now they get the stick for a little while. So now he's saying, okay, now the idea that Ukraine can actually take back its territory and conquer part of Russia is obviously absurd and fanciful, and it's not true. Trump is threatening that and to threaten supporting them in order to bring Russia back to the table, get them to make more concessions or to agree to peace. They're not doing that. And so he's saying, all right, well, Russia, if you're not going to play ball at all, then fine. Then we'll resume the war, and we'll keep giving them money, and we'll keep giving them weapons, and lots more people can die if that's what you want.
So do the same thing as Biden. But he criticized Biden so critically over.
Trump is saying this. It's a tactical to get them to come back to the table. Biden had no intention of Russia coming back to the table. Biden actually thought Ukraine could defeat Russia. I don't believe Trump actually.
I'm going off of the president of our country's words. He said he thinks that Ukraine has a great chance. No, he said he was doing deal making in the beginning. He said that Putin was he know him well enough to have a good dialogue and could solve this in a few days. Now it's been more than a few months, 8 months to be specific, and nothing has changed. If anything, they've upped their aggression and done strikes on the heels or right before.
Ukraine's aggression.
I know, but
to bring them back.
This is what we said. Like, we should have had strength, not unity. I mean, we should have unity, not strength from the beginning. When Zelensky was in his office and he was berating him and having Russia feel like they had the upper hand, they continued to take more land and continue to move forward. And so now here we are with the president doing what most people and analysts have been suggesting he do from the beginning, which is provide more economic sanctions, make it more uncomfortable for Russia, because what the people in Russia are going to start to soon realize is that too much is being spent on this war. They don't have an endless bank account. They can spend endlessly.
They have no way to vent that frustration. It's not a free country. The government of Russia doesn't feel that pressure because they're repressive and authoritarian. The people being upset about it, which is a dubious prospect, by the way. Sentiment in Russia, if you actually read, it's hard to get accurate polling, but
Right,
it is
that's like-
very in support of the conflict. They're not ready to turn on their leadership, and they'd be shot if they did, so there's no way to turn on their leadership.
So obviously
you can't
the
turn on
reporting
your
is very
leadership
in support of
Russia,
it.
and you can't turn on your leadership in China, and that's...
Well, who wants to bankrupt the country economically because they're pouring so much money into war? I would just assume
Well,
from a
as
human
Trump
level
said
that most
there'll be
people
no
don't want to
bankrupting of the
continue to-
country unless they stop, unless the rest of Europe stops accepting the natural gas exports.
Backing Ukraine
Not
is
gonna
not
bankrupt the
charity.
country.
Backing Ukraine is strategy, and we
I
should
didn't
have been
say it was
aligned with
charity.
them from the beginning. No, you act like we're just pouring money into this for no reason, like they're not on the cusp of somebody or our aggressor moving into NATO space, and we would be involved in something way more serious. I don't think it's going to be
what
World
Trump
War
wants
III.
is their aggressor to, well, if we start shooting down their planes, it could very well be.
Well, they're going into NATO airspace. I
Yeah,
mean,
if
we're
they-
sending
well, if
drones
they enter
already.
that-
So
if
what
they-
would they like to do?
If they enter NATO airspace, they can be shot down, yes. I think we should be we should think through whether that's worth doing, because that does risk an escalation to World War III. You're right that it is morally or legally permissible to do it if they enter Poland's airspace or whatever. They shouldn't do that, and we should make it clear that they, as Trump just did, that they could be shot down if that happens. I don't know, Trump's doing everything. I think Trump's doing everything right in his approach. It's a difficult problem that Joe Biden left him with, that he's trying a multiple strategies to try to fix. Tried the carrot, now we're trying the stick. If Russia starts to play ball, we can go back to the carrot. For now, they're getting the stick.
Okay,
that seems
so-
totally logical to me.
Except that Putin basically mocked him over the last 8 months. And so now here we are, and he's trying the strategy that most people, specifically Democrats, were suggesting to try. And even though you said Biden's failed policy, his idea also failed as well. He tried to be nice to Putin and have conversation. He rolled out literally the red carpet. They got in a car ride together. And then Putin still mocked him, went across the world with other dictators, took a photo op and said, yeah, don't make it us against you guys. Like, it's been nothing but a series of events of mocking.
Because it's very difficult to defeat a country that you're not actually going to go to war with. Like, this is a proxy battle with a very weak proxy. So there's no magic solution here.
But whatever happens, right, from here on out, and how Trump behaves with this stick approach, right? If we get a favorable outcome, then perhaps we could have gotten this favorable outcome 8 months ago, 7 months ago, if he would have came in office and followed the suggestions of many people before him, saying, let's continue the stick approach. Russia cannot continue to spend all this money. And let's put economic sanctions on Russia. I know, but he's doing the exact suggestions. Okay, he tried your approach. It didn't work. He's not the greatest negotiator in the world that he thought he was.
We tried
That's what he's not.
4 years. Biden's approach, or 2 years, Biden's approach, which was to just give them whatever they need and expect that they're actually going to defeat Russia. I don't believe
they were holding their own.
Trump does not think that they were slowly losing territory. They're holding their own at the cost of thousands and thousands and thousands of people dying in Ukraine.
But the president, Zelensky, is saying specifically that that's how he wants to do, is hold his own, not cede any land. So, like you said, if we're talking about our leadership running the country and making these decisions, he's making it on behalf of the country. They don't want to.
It's not all realistic to think they're not going to have to lose land. They're going to have to lose land. But if Russia wants more than that, then we're going to keep fighting.
The president just said something totally different. So I'm just going off our president's word because I believe what he's saying.
He's doing art of the deal. He's doing art of the deal with
I guess
Putin.
We'll see, because here we are 8 months in and nothing changed.
I think we can all tell what he's doing. Next up, a government shutdown is looming. Less than a week away, lawmakers seem no closer to actually funding a deal. We'll be right back after this.